Picture yourself walking along a beautiful road on the countryside. There are lush sunflowers all around you. The sun feels nice on your skin. It's a wonderful time of the year. You are heading towards your new school, and hopefully the start of a new life. And hey, look! There's another girl down the road. She's one of her fellow trainees, isn't she? She was late to her exam. You continue down the road, as the blood of the dead girl tints the soil on the ground red. It's time to begin a new semester, and the story of Sharin no Kuni. Sharin no Kuni was made by Akibisoft 2 in 2005, and can in many ways be considered a spiritual predecessor to their most highly acclaimed title, g-senjou no Mao. The novel begins with a lone teenager walking down the road towards his old hometown. His name is Morita Kenichi. He's about to begin the final stage of his 7-year-long Special High-Class Individuals training program. You see, in this world, people who break the law are not sent to jail or given fines for their crimes. Instead, they are given so-called obligations, which is intended as a form of rehabilitation through limiting the individual's day-to-day freedoms. These obligations can be something as simple as being prohibited from driving cars, to something as extreme as being forbidden to communicate with other people in any way. Should any individual in some way break their obligation, they will be deemed incapable of rehabilitation and be sent off to a concentration camp, whereupon they are never seen again. As a first-class citizen's trainee, Morita Kenichi has already founded a highly successful corporation, taken part in armed international conflicts, and killed people. He's being trained to become one of society's finest, a leader who normal people can rely on to think for them. The final objective of his exam is to ensure the rehabilitation of 3 individuals. Once this task is completed, society will officially recognize him as a first-rate citizen. So please act surprised when I tell you that the 3 individuals he gets assigned to are all teenage girls. Is he having friggin' girls' underwear in his bag? I don't even... Anyway! So the 3 people whom Morita is tasked to rehabilitate are Natsumi, the extremely shy and distant heroine, Sachi, the overly energetic girl, I want a girlfriend like her, Isono, the one girl who... wait, actually that's a guy. Friggin' androgynous character designs. And One Toga, who is a bit, shall we say, obligatory tsundere archetype? Check! So, this novel definitely does get its plot started eventually. However, a majority of the playtime is still spent with its characters doing normal daily life stuff. Particularly during chapter 1, as this is where the novel spends its time introducing the reader to the world and its characters. It's nowhere near as long of an intro as other VNs, but it still requires some minor amount of patience to get through. Personally though, I still found these parts to be pretty enjoyable, as it's kind of a calming read. Like the novel captures the nice, warm feeling of the rural countryside, with its tranquil music and wonderful artwork. Of course though, that wouldn't make for an interesting enough of a story. As it has turned out, these obligations aren't quite working as a foundation for this country's system of justice, as the people in control often end up abusing their power for rather questionable ends. Now this could easily have spiraled into yet another little good guys rebel group fighting the big evil government story. That's not the case here though, as in actuality most of the plot simply follows the characters' day-to-day activities and explores what it would be like to live in a society like this. I find it's almost like you took one of your other fairly standard high school romance VNs, like say Katawa Shoujo or Little Busters, and then set them in a country with a truly broken political system. Not necessarily an oppressive system, mind you, just a really broken one.
まったく時間の無駄だよ。やりたいことがあるときって本当に時間が惜しく感じるものだね。
Unlike a lot of other visual novels, Sharin does not branch into different routes. This is a linear novel. It is divided into 5 parts, each one being somewhere around 5 hours long, making the total length of this novel approximately 25 hours. Chapter 1 is the introduction part of the novel, whereupon the following 3 chapters are dedicated to each heroine of the game, the first of which being Sachi. She carried a 12-hour day obligation, according to which every day at 7 PM she must take a pill that makes her body shut down for 12 hours, effectively only giving her half as much time per day to live as everyone else. So, her and the other heroines' chapters primarily revolve around how their obligation would affect us as individuals, and tries to depict the anger, desperation and bad memories we would likely develop if we were forced into a situation like this. One thing that her arc could be criticized for though, and quite frankly all of the heroines' chapters could be criticized for, is that the love stories with Martha wasn't very well integrated into the main story. Now, to be fair, if they had taken each romance subplot on their own, like if you had given them separate individual routes the way most VNs do or something like that, they would have been just fine. However, this was a linear story. They could not keep the romance subplots separate from each other. So, how did Akabe go about this problem? By saying F it all and making all the girls fall in love with Morita anyway, thereby turning this story into a light harem. And then Akabe fell over laughing with the world's biggest troll face. Ugh, moving on.
Oh, wait.
Yes, what now?
We also forced in unnecessary adult content in this game, because why not?
Tell me, did those age scenes add anything to the plot and or character development?
Nope, they were completely pointless.
Like I was just saying, moving on...
料理という技術が学びたければ、料理の専門学校に行けばいい。でも、母親の技術はどこでどうやって学べばいいのかしらね。
Chapter 3 was a Ne Toga's chapter. She had the so-called Prohibition of Becoming Adult obligation, according to which she must obey her parents' every order. As in literally everything One does must be permitted by her mother, to the point that she can't even wake up at night to have a glass of water without first asking her mom for permission. Despite such an amazing premise though, I thought that her chapter was the worst part of the whole game. The issue I had was that the major climax of her arc already came 2/3 in, whereupon in the last third, the characters were basically just sitting around fiddling their thumbs while waiting for green light to go into chapter 4. This really dragged on the pacing and made it far less interesting and exciting than the rest of the novel.
私は一人がいいです。気楽でいいです。
The last of the heroine's chapters was Natsumi's. She had the Prohibition of Love obligation, according to which she must always reject everyone and anyone, especially males, who tries to come on friendly terms with her. She's not even allowed to physically touch other people in any way. Most of this part of the story though was actually just a build-up for the final chapter, which, despite that the ending to the game felt like a bit of a cop-out, it was a chapter that I thought was the best part of the whole game. And also the one I won't talk about because spoilers. Sharin no Kuni is a good novel. It is perhaps not among the best of visual novels, but it is still very good. It has some problems with its pacing, particularly during the middle portion of the story. Its romance aspects could have been pulled off better, and it also isn't quite on the same level as its big brother g-senjou no Mao. If you've read that one, don't expect Sharin no Kuni to be quite as amazing. None of that overshadows the fact that it's a highly enjoyable read though, but with a length of about 25 hours, it's not the biggest time investment. If you're looking for a visual novel that's well above your standard kind of good slice of life VN, but don't have the 2 decades needed to read some of the most amazing stuff out there, like Fate Stay Night or Rewrite, this one is definitely worth a try.